Okay, are we online? Okay, since I think we are connected. Yep. Morning to everyone in Singapore and I mean in Asia. Yeah. So it's pretty cooling weather today in Singapore, and good evening or good afternoon to anyone in the rest of the world. Okay, so without further ado, let's start for the analysis this week. Okay, so just to toggle to the right screen. Okay, so basically, yeah, I mean, this is the usual disclaimer. The content covered is basically intended for references or educational purposes. So yeah, if you were to take any trade, do advise. I mean, do get advice from the professional financial advisor and etc. Okay, so for the content wise, pretty much remain the same review of what happened last week and then have some checks on the calendar, see what are the key news that's coming out for the coming week. I mean, not to say that after looking at them, then I mean, if you have good memory, then yeah, you don't need to refer back to the calendar, economic calendar up during the week. But for myself, I will always look at the calendar for every start of the day and then maybe mid of the day or yeah even just before the London Open. I would just take a look and yeah just to keep myself alert, what are the key news that will be coming out um, for the next 1 or 2 hours or things like that. Okay, then yeah, last but not least, let's also have some, I mean, let me share some of this plan for the coming week. Okay, so going back to the calendar next week. But yeah, nevertheless, we do have some CPI news. So I think next week wise is more of like a CPI news that is catching the headline for the majors. First off, we have the one coming from the Swiss, and then we do have another one for the Australia. Yeah, Australia, and then after which the US and also I think the yeah China side. Okay, so those are the CPI, and CPI is inflation. I mean related to inflation. So do keep in mind or do take note of the release of this news at at a relatively, I mean at a respective time. Okay, so that is for the calendar, and then let's move back to the chart itself. Okay, so the chart. All right, so I think you are able to look at, I mean, see the chart. Okay, so let's just revisit what has happened pretty much for the last week. Okay, so last week wise, I was actually, yeah, I mean, I mentioned about there could be some retracement of the USD, but still looking at it overall is bearish to me. So yeah, of course, over the week, I do take a look at how things goes, and then also I did long, I think on Wednesday for UJ, and yeah, that's on UJ, and then I also did a long on the pound dollar on the Thursday itself. So yeah, it is. It's basically looking at what is the time frame that you're trading, and then since you're day trading, then maybe you will be looking at like let's say the M15 or the H1, or even if you're scalping maybe M5 or even M1 if you are comfortable with that. Okay, so yeah, I mean looking at that, I would say saying that there could be a pullback of this dollar, which it did materialize, and then it actually went above this downtrend line that was actually drawn. So I mean, trend line is just for you as a guide, and yeah, it can break easily, or it can be a point where the market start to turn or flip, and yeah, things like that. So yeah, pretty strong week for the US dollar. I mean, yeah, this candle, I think there is some, I don't know, that there's some maybe some glitch or some bug. I don't think there's such a big whip at 10 a.m. On Wednesday itself, Singapore time, of course. So yeah, so Singapore time, Asia time, I don't know, maybe there's some bug. So there's such a long week. But yeah, nevertheless, the whole thing is that if you have been tracking on the, yeah, just let's move back to the US dollar index. Okay, so US dollar index, if you would have been tracking on the trend line, so this trend line has been holding the USD for pretty much most of the week, unless that I mean until the non-farm payroll. So it was actually a initially was a rally for the US dollar, but after which it came down all the way, kept selling until it reverses, I think, after the midnight of Singapore time. Okay, so that was what happened for the USD. So on the USD side, if you were to take a look, and I would say on the 1 hourly is still on the sideway move, and then for the 4 hourly, yeah, if you take a closer look, 4 hourly, you do see something like a head and shoulder. If you can't really tell, so this is your left shoulder. This is the head, and it is right now forming on the right hand side, the right hand. I mean the right shoulder. Okay, so yeah, I'll wait for. Okay, so moving on to the next week, right? I mean, just a bit of the plan of the next week. I'm looking at this consolidation to break, just like what happened over here. If it were to break down lower, of course, I will just follow it through to go on short for the US dollar. I mean, since it is still, yeah, you can see pretty much is on a downtrend for this for the past 2 months. Okay, so that is the plan. And of course, if it were to break out, then I think likely it could be able to sustain that reversal move upwards from then on. Okay, so yeah, for next week, yeah, I am just looking at this to play out and see what happens and adjust accordingly over the course of next week. Okay, so that is for the USD, and then think I also mentioned about sorry, not this, yeah, mentioned about UJ. So UJ, I'm actually looking at it to break further. Reason being, at that point of time, yeah, this was the trend line, and this trend line, if it's not going to hold, which is on the 1 hourly, then probably I will be looking at the short. And then also over the course of last week, what actually happened was that, yeah, maybe I just go to the chart itself. Okay, so this is the same chart. This is on the 4 hourly and then 1 hourly, which, yep, I did mention that if it were to break, then of course for me is a pretty much more biased to the downside. But if it's going to go up, then more or less I'm going to see if there's any possibility for me to go on long on the lower time frame, right? Okay, so this has already happened. So yep, this is what actually happened, and I was talking about the Wednesday long that I took on this UJ. Okay, so this is the, I think this was the trade that has happened. So yep, a consolidation over here, and then this was the breakout where I took the long over here. Okay, for this to go up. Okay, so this was the break of this downtrend line. So similarly, the same concept, I mean, trend line is just for the guide. It doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, for example, over here, if it were to turn here, it were to turn here, likely it might turn here. It's not that 100% it will turn here. So yep, it didn't work out for those who actually, let's say, they play on the yeah, they play on the downtrend line to be holding. I mean, ever since yeah, a few months back, it has been holding up quite well, but for last week it didn't. So yeah, it just went up, and then after which it is pretty much more of a down, I mean, a upside from then on. Okay, so it is still a healthy uptrend on the 4 hourly, on the 1 hourly. So this is also a, okay. So if we were to, sorry for me for jumping around, because I just share with you what I do see for at this time point. So yeah, I do think there's potential for the UJ to flip to the upside. I mean, continuing its this multi-month multi-year uptrend. So reason being that it has been holding up at this 141 level, 141 around this 141-ish level, and then this is the second or the third time is holding up, and then as you can see, this is a double bottom over here. So yeah, if it were to hold, and yeah, this trend is to hold, and I think for any I'm actually looking at some decent pullback before it goes up further. Okay, so that is the plan for the UJ, and that also brings me to the yeah, upcoming um trading plan that I have for, let's say, UJ, for USD. Actually, I have already covered them just now. So yeah, slightly more biased to the upside, but of course, if things changes, then yeah, you need to act accordingly and um, trade on the other side. Okay, so that is for both USD and also UJ. And just to cover a bit on the pound dollar. So pound dollar, what actually triggered me to go on the upside? I mean, yeah, just for a long, it was actually a quick M15 trade on the day itself. So what actually happens is that on Thursday itself, let me see, yeah, Wednesday, Thursday. So Wednesday, I think Wednesday, it actually reaches this key level where it starts to hold up. So for the pound dollar, it has been holding over here. So I went on to the lower time frame on the 1 hourly. As you can see over here, it is still holding quite well. So here was the consolidation, and here was the double bottom that was formed on the 1 hourly. So this is the double bottom, a break up, and then there's a consolidation over here, and I know that I'm playing within this range on the 4 hourly. So that was my, and that was my plan to actually go on a long for this consolidation on the M15. Okay, so M15 wise over here, this was the consolidation, I think, on the Thursday. Yeah, this is the one. So just to mark it up over here, this is the consolidation, the breakout, and then this was the run that I took, and I think I took it off somewhere here. Yeah, somewhere here, and then it starts to flip, and this was nothing to do with me. I mean, after that, I didn't take a look at the pound dollar really. So yeah, I think it could be still in this range for a little bit time, unless yeah, something major happened to US or the pound side, then it can break out of this consolidation over here, which is yeah, if you have a, it's quite a big consolidation here. Yeah, okay, so this consolidation, then other than that, I think that for the other pair that I'm looking at for next week, this is an interesting pair that I look at it as well. So just take a top-down analysis. So if you can see, this was the head and shoulder that was formed on the daily time frame. It is a pretty big one, and then ever since it has been coming down, and right now it is pushing back all the way to this area again. So I'm looking at this area to turn, or it might, if it's, I mean, if pound is strong enough, it could be able to push out further. And but for now, I don't see anything yet. So even on the 1 hourly, it only start to consolidate, and let's see what happened after which. So it actually coincide with what actually happened in the pound New Zealand as well. So if you go up to the higher time frame, you can see that this at the daily time frame here is also a key support resistance area. Okay, so key area um for the pound New Zealand. Okay, so over here, let's see what happened, and does it turn and continue its downward move, or it can actually break up further. So these are the two that I'm looking at, and also for the pound pound cat. Okay, so pound cat, see what actually happens. um Actually for pound cat, it does seems to be a little bit more on the bullish side, where you have a bottom, you have double bottom, and it starts to form higher high over here and pull back. It should be for us to look for long, but yeah, it's a bit on the contradicting signal from this, meaning to say that, I mean, if let's say pound Aussies or pound New Zealand starts to flip on the downside, then after it actually encounters some key resistance over here, it start to turn, then of course, it will start to be more of a bearish side. So for now, yeah for now, maybe what I will look at is on this pound cat, see how much it actually pulls back before I look for long and things like that. Okay, so that's pretty much for this week. And yeah, if you were to look at, oh yeah, one more thing actually I want to just point out on this index is that I do see that index are weakening, and then also on the 4 hourly you can see that it actually has started to form new low, which for me on the pullback, I would be looking for shorts, let's say on the 1 hourly or whatnot, for the indexes. Yeah, and this was the double top that's already formed, and it could be also washing out the weak holders of the long before it goes up again. So yeah, we can try to go on for short for now if it were to pull back, and there's some um, shorting opportunity for us. So yeah, and also for this is a bit more, I mean, for the Nasdaq is a bit more clear for the reversal. It has been on the downside for a bit more time. I mean, more prominent downside as compared to the S&P, if you can compare um, on both of this chart. Okay, so the same thing, topish formation, and then let's see if we can get some decent pullback for us to go on short. Yep, that's the plan for the short term. Okay, so yeah, pretty much everything that I wanted to share for the next week here in the webinar. So if you have if you like the sharing, please give a thumbs up, give a rocket boost, and do follow me to find out more on what is the next move of the market will be for the forex. Okay, thank you and see you next week.